Happy effing Friday, everybody. Do you ever feel like you're sprinting full speed but down the wrong road? Dustin Geroski did. Now hear him tell us about how quitting the hardest thing he'd done turned into his best move so far. Let's go. Oh, dang it. Welcome, everybody, to the show. My guest today, Dustin Geroski, investor, educator, community builder. He's doing a lot of cool stuff in the co-living space, focused on build to rent, right? Build to rent. How about you give us kind of your background, where you came from, how you arrived at co-living? Take it away.
Yeah. Well, so kind of touching briefly on the theme of the show, I've basically taken every college class you could think of, like literally yoga in Greece. I've dissected human cadavers. I've held a human brain,
Ew.
um, art, like you name it. I've taken every class trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And throughout that whole time, though, I lived in several co-living properties. And it was pretty cool because the little did I know back then, I was like a unofficial sabbatical. You could say I was like gathering research about what I was going to do professionally without knowing that's what I was going to do. So yeah, I lived in five. At one point, I started chiropractic school. I guess that's what I would call for, the challenge of this show, like my official challenge I want to highlight. I passed, but I hated it. Like I did a couple trimesters and it was insanely hard. So a normal college semester, it's longer, right? And you're like technically even 12 credits is full time, 15 credits is normal. Well, so in chiropractic school, I was doing a trimester shortened and we are doing 25 credits. So it's like pedal to the metal, fire
Dang.
hydrant every day, every night. And yeah, I did that for about 10 months. And then I realized it's like I don't want to do this. I liked it, at first, but I liked business more.
After doing cadavers and holding human brains, maybe eating some human brains, out of curiosity, how did you go from that to, hey, I want to be a chiropractor?
Well, so growing up, my stepmom, she worked at a chiropractic office pretty much my whole childhood. So I'd gone, been adjusted, that kind of stuff. And then actually at age 19, I was in a car accident. So I have two herniated discs in my neck and one in my lower back.
Ooh, like, were you rear-ended?
T-bone, just right, intersection. So 19. So yeah, I was connected to it. I had a strong interest, personal, connection to it. But then the more I got into it, I was like, I don't see myself doing this 10 hours a day, for 30 years. I'm like, I saw the people that dominated at it they're more on the business side, and I'm like, is chiropractic the business I want to be in? No. So then yeah, fast forward a bunch, and I got a master's in finance was my alternative, basically.
Did you graduate through chiropractic school, or did you like go, no, this is definitely not it? You were still going to school and you changed tacks there to business.
Yeah, so I pivoted hard. It's technically 10 trimesters, and I did the first two. Often they say the hardest two. They weed people out. But yeah, I did that, and then I took a couple of weeks to think about it, and then I was like, nope. I've always been drawn to finance. I've always been drawn, like later real estate, but numbers and just that kind of stuff always piqued my interest a lot more.
When did you figure out that you kind of felt this pull towards finance and numbers?
Well, so before real estate, backtrack. I've been in real estate 3 years. Before real estate, I was deep into essentially the stock market. I helped consult. I was an analyst, managed portfolios. So I was deep into like options, futures, with some larger portfolios. But I didn't like how it was only, at least for me, is more so active income. And the more I like looked at alternative investments, that's when I saw, real estate. It showed the true, most bang for your buck. And that's when I shifted from there to into the real estate world.
You didn't dive into crypto?
Not really. I mean, it's obviously done well, but it never really caught my eye. Like I was like, I don't know. No one can tell me what it is, so I'm just gonna go towards real estate.
Gonna buy some NFTs. Here's some JPEGs for you.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe after this call.
Okay, so then after going down the finance rabbit hole for a while, pivoted to real estate. But what brought you to real estate?
Is more so I saw a lot of the same rules. So like before real estate, I was doing a lot of covered calls on like just big tech companies. And anyway, it's a way to pull in monthly income from stocks, and it's really similar to how a house you rent it out and pull in income. And so there's a lot of things that were very, very similar, but real estate overall was a much stronger a candidate, the risk profile, like the money needed to do what I wanted to do. It was just everything was more attractive on the real estate side. So it's like I learned the original rules, I guess, in the stock market and realized if I had just applied them to real estate, I was way better off.
So why do you consider the chiropractic distraction a a, a big mistake?
I guess it depends for your show how you want to define a mistake. To me, I actually, as cliche as it sounds, I wouldn't change it because chiropractic school, I stopped drinking entirely. I haven't drank alcohol in over 10 years. Um, so like between that and then the way like I mentioned before, it forced me to learn in a way that I feel like a lot of people don't push themselves mentally. I think a lot of people can, but it's like until you've taken 9 classes that should be taken over the course of like almost a year and condense it into 3 months, it's like so I one angle you could say, well, okay, you wasted time, but I learned a lot about the body. Like I've ran several marathons because of what I learned in chiropractic school. I learned how to teach myself and not rely on other people. So I guess it depends, how you want to define it. I'd say though, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at if I actually didn't do that, whatever you want to call it.
I mean that's true with people that have overcame challenges or have course corrected from a mistake. You wouldn't necessarily want to erase that mistake, right? Because it becomes a core part of your own journey, and you learn things along the way that you wouldn't have learned
Mhm.
otherwise, either about yourself or about the world. I imagine there are some mistakes that, yeah, you would look and say, man, I really would like to have not lived through that.
Mhm.
However, sometimes it's hard to learn from our mistakes. And sometimes there are things that we can't learn from others. We have to learn them ourselves.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So, what were some of your key takeaways? I mean, you've mentioned a couple already, right? You learned how to learn. You maybe you learned about yourself that, hey, you can compress stuff. You can dive in and really go hard. What else did you learn?
I got to see I think that's where I got to truly learn like momentum. Like whenever you start something new, it's typically hardest at the beginning. And so like that first trimester, like I mentioned, I stopped drinking during this time. I had to like pull every trick in the book to survive that first trimester. It's really, really hard. And so momentum though, I'd say it's like then it's like you get in a rhythm, like atomic habits or habit stacking, where it's like the accumulation of all these little things, whatever new endeavor you're starting, they finally start kicking in, and it's like it might take a couple months to see the benefits, but eventually it kicks in.
That and cocaine.
And some caffeine.
Definitely caffeine all the time.
Yeah, I've been trying to trim it lately, actually, and it helps. At least not past lunch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I remember pretty distinctly after I hit 40 that I couldn't do the 3 Red Bulls in a day without paying for it at the end, and body being tired, but mind just continuing to crank all through the night.
Mm.
Well, what are you working on now?
So, in the middle of a couple different projects, and then teaching with Tracy inside of the sub two, the co-living semesters, really dialing in that, I guess you could say, conveyor belt. Um, really building out our funnels for raising capital, the team to manage the deals so we can buy. And then now actually we're dialing in of what, once we hit 20, we want to treat it as something separate where it's like anything else we just consider as like bonus fun stuff. So now we're reverse engineering what 20 new construction coding projects, how that will run without us inside it. And so we're spending some time on, the org chart, who's doing what, all of it.
Well, if people wanted to follow along with you, where should they go?
For just short stuff, like, or in general, to reach out, it's Instagram. More long form, like videos just talking about all this, 15, 20 minutes. Some of it's like me underwriting properties or a lot of interviews of different people in the co-living space on YouTube, just like in the bottom here at Dustin Geroski. And then buydealswithdustin.com. This is going to have a whole menu of different things. Free ebooks, calculators, ways we can partner, all of it.
Sweet. And what are you looking for now?
I'd say primarily just people that are like even at the intermediate level, where it's like they probably know a ton about co-living, but they want to partner with people that already have a lot of systems in place. So just people that want to partner in regards to bringing capital to the deals, whether it's their own or we'd have to talk about this separate, but if they connect, small, more medium size, medium to larger amounts of capital to a deal, we can wedge them in, give them a little equity. So mostly capital for our existing ecosystem we already got going on.
All right, everybody, if you've got money, throw it at Dustin.
Yeah. Well, sounds good, man. Appreciate you having me on.